This morning, I'm going to be talking about, Zach's been talking about the body of Christ, and what we do as a body of Christ, and what our roles are as a body of Christ. And today's topic is, we named it, what did we name it?
Loving them home.
Loving them home. Loving them home is the name of this sermon. And I think it's a great name. Zach came up with it. But loving them home. Just the love that we show people outside the church and how important that is to actually bring people to Christ. So, showing love is what we're called to do. If you didn't think that's what it was, then I'm sorry. But that's what we're called to do. Ultimately, as Christians, we're called to show love. I want to start out with a verse. It's going to be 1 John 3:16 through 18. I'm going to talk about what love is and what kind of love we need to show to these others. First John 3:16 through 18. This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down his life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers. If anyone has material possessions and sees his brother in need, but has no pity on him, how can the love of God be in him? Dear children, let us not love with words or tongue, but with actions and in truth. Pretty much, I can just stop the lesson right there. Like, that one verse says it all. Those few verses say it all. It's just, this is how we know what love is. That you lay down your life for someone else. And that's what the ultimate sacrifice was for us. It's that Christ, can you guys hear the squeaking up here? I was figuring you guys hear that. But that Christ just laid down his life for us. And how can we not show back that love? Like, there has to be something in us that makes us want to show that love to someone else. And just truly bring other people to Christ. This is one of my favorite verses, actually, because verse 18, Dear children, let us not love with words or tongue, but with actions and in truth. Love is not a word, okay? It's one thing to tell somebody that you love them. It's one thing, I can easily go and say, oh, I love you, man. I really do. But it's just like with faith, if that proclamation of faith is not backed up with actions, then that faith is meaningless. If this proclamation of love is not backed up with any actions of love, then that word is meaningless in itself. So love is not a word, and that's one thing I want you to think of as I go through here. That when I'm talking about love, I'm not talking about I love you. I'm talking about the actions that we show for people. I also have a lot of verses today, so we're going to be flipping a lot. But the next verse I want to go to is Romans 12, verse 9. Romans 12, verse 9. Sincerity of love, and how important it is that love must be sincere. Like I said, it's not a word that we're just saying that. This love must be sincere. Love must be sincere. Hate what is evil, cling to what is good. Be devoted to one another in brotherly love. Honor one another above yourselves. Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor, serving the Lord. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer. Share with God's people who are in need. Practice hospitality. I probably have read more than I thought there. Okay, got it right. But when I think of sincerity of love, that kind of love is just complete unselfishness. It means that you're doing something for somebody with nothing in return. I think of something that happened to me the other week. It was really dumb of me to do it, but I was with my buddies, and we were driving out to the lake to see if it was frozen or not, to get some stuff to go sledding. And I was with them, and I was just in a little car, and we were going down this hill. And I was like, oh, guys, we're not going to make it back up this hill. So we get down to the bottom of the hill, and after a little while, we realized that we're not going to make it back up. And I was just like, oh no. That was probably one of the dumbest things I've done, is to drive this car down here. Even though I know I wasn't going to make it back up, because my friend was in the seat beside me. He's like, oh, we'll be fine, just go for it. Just go down the hill. And so I went down the hill, because I got some other guys' emails with me. They're like, oh, we can push it out, we'll be fine. This hill is like this, completely covered in ice, and it's like a quarter of a mile long. I don't know why I thought I would be able to make it up. I really didn't think I would be able to make it up, but I didn't want to disappoint you guys. So we went down. And we were down there for a while, just figuring out ways to get out. And it took us like 2 hours of pushing and dragging and who knows what else to try and get this car out until we realized that we're not going anywhere. We are stuck here. And we were pretty far out away from where I lived. But while we were down there, we were just sitting on the car. It was 8 degrees this day, so we're freezing. But there's this old lady who came out. She's like, are you guys stranded here? And I was just like, right now we are, yeah. And she's like, well, do you guys have a place to stay tonight? And I was like, well, we're not planning on staying here. But she's like, well, you're stranded. And I was like, yeah, I know, for now. And she's like, well, do you have a way out? No, we're stranded. And she's like, well, you guys are welcome to stay with us. We're 4 teenage boys. An old lady could invite 4 teenage boys to a house. I was like, wow, and it's really something, just to have that thrown out there. But we ended up not staying. I ended up calling my dad because that's the only thing I could think of. And first of all, we didn't have any cell phone reception where we were, so we had to walk like a mile to get reception, and then call. And then, I see love from my dad because at the end of his day, he had to drive out another half an hour away to come pick us up. And it was something that could have been avoided by me easily, by not being stupid. But he picked us all up, and it just made me think of how love is shown from one person to another. And it was just really good to see that. And he wasn't mad at all. He just laughed at me, and that was good. I was pretty sure that I was going to get in some trouble because I drove a car down a hill that I knew I couldn't get up. But that's just sincerity. It's just, you did something stupid, I'm going to help you out. It's not a big deal. So I want to talk about ways that we can show this love to other people, because we're not just talking about love inside the church. We're talking about love for people outside. But I just wanted to explain what that love is. And now I just want to talk about ways that we can show that love. This love is not a one-time thing. The love that you show can't just be on and off. You can't be, one day I'm going to be really nice to this person, or really nice to that person, show them love. Love is something that you are. That's what we're called to be. Be imitators of Christ. And live a life of love, as it says in Ephesians. But it has to be something that's constant, that when someone looks at you, they know you're loved. They're just like, oh, I want to be around him because he is love. So the way to become love is to surround yourself in love. To surround yourself around others who love. And to just be that loving person, no matter where you are. I don't know why so many people are afraid of love. I remember I read a book in English class. I was surprised that I read the book. I usually don't read too many books that I'm assigned. I'm not going to lie. But I read a book, and it's called Tuesdays with Maury. I don't know if you guys have ever read that.